Hi, I'm Jasper Pattendon at Wycombe Wanderers, and you're listening to Wycombe Sound.
The Wycombe Wanderers Show.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Wycombe Wanderers Show. Lots to bring you, as always. We'll look back at the defeat up at Hillsborough against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. We'll hear from manager Gareth Ainsworth. We've got our match debrief with Phil as well, who assesses the current state of all things at Adams Park. Something very much to look forward to. Will there be a bird scarer or four, as in last week? I can tell you now there isn't. You'll be able to relax. No loud bangs. Hopefully not anyway. In the next hour or so, which is comforting. We'll hear from Ali Al-Hamadi as well. Craig Anderson's been chatting to him. We'll get the manager's thoughts ahead of the visit of Plymouth Argyle as well. Top of the table, Plymouth on Saturday, Adams Park. We'll look ahead to Sunday's historic game at the same ground as well, where Wycombe Wanderers women play for the first time in the second qualifying round of the Women's FA Cup. And thanks to Wycombe Wanderers Ex-Players Association, we'll be hearing from a winger from the 63-64 season who played on the right when club legend Len Worley played on the left. That's Paul Hodges. But first, we kick off this hour with a look back at Saturday's action at Hillsborough.
And that goes out for a throw to Sheffield Wednesday on the left-hand side. Will be taken by... It's very difficult to see these black numbers on these stripy shirts. Let's get my eyes plugged in for this one. Marvin Johnson, the left wing back to take this throw. Cross comes in, left footed in, swinging right away across and in! It's an own goal! Joe Jacobson, it's a terrible start for Wycombe Wanderers. I think it's come off the foot of Joe Jacobson. Smith was lurking to put it in if he wasn't going to be put in by the Wycombe defender. And not even a minute on the clock, and Sheffield Wednesday lead 1-0, and it's a terrible start for the Chairboys. Mametti goes on that left-hand side. Goes past Hennigan, brilliant skill by Mametti, he's inside the box, Mametti still going, cuts it back, Vokes scores! Wycombe Wanderers have levelled, and it's silence Hillsborough and Alice Mametti. My eyes were deceiving me, the Sheffield Wednesday defenders couldn't believe it either. He lays it back to Vokes, it's his first of the season, and David Stockdale, he'd have seen it a few times in training, but he couldn't have done anything about that. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Wycombe 1. Windass chips it to the right hand side, headed down by Smith. Lovely touch to Gregory now. Gregory in the centre circle, finds Smith. Smith, he's through on the narrow angle on the far side to Banner and scores! Sheffield Wednesday slicing their way through the Wycombe back line. Mametti thinks it's offside. The assistant referee waves him away. Smith with the assist. Bannon with the simple task of firing into the roof of the net from 2 yards. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Wycombe Wanderers 1. Wilkes is on the right hand side for Sheffield Wednesday. Will it be a chance for them? Wilkes up against Mawson, lays it back now. Patterson scores! His first touch of the game, seals it for the Owls. Lovely hold up play from Wilkes, and Wycombe exposed at the back, looking for the equaliser, and Patterson seals the deal. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Wycombe 1.
Yeah, Wycombe are just throwing absolutely everything at it, leaving kind of the space for Sheffield Wednesday to exploit. And Wilkes doing really well, taking on his man, cuts it back to Patterson, and he only needed one touch to find the back of the net, and that gift wraps the 3 points for Sheffield Wednesday.
Toby, thanks for your company this afternoon. Full-time score here at Hillsborough: Sheffield Wednesday 3, Wycombe Wanderers 1.
Toby Lloyd summarising on Saturday here on Wycombe Sound and on Wanderers TV as well, with Wycombe Wanderers matchday commentator, head of audio and broadcast, host of Ringing in the Blues, Phil Catchpole. I'm very pleased to say we can catch up with Phil now. And disappointing, I guess, after two back-to-back defeats against Sheffield Wednesday and, of course, at Derby in League One before that.
Yeah, we've seen two defeats back-to-back now against Derby County away at Pride Park and away at Hillsborough against Sheffield Wednesday. Which we've put it into perspective across the whole season. I don't think will be disastrous. Obviously, defeats coming on the back of an indifferent start to the season as well hasn't helped. But half-time against Derby, as the table stood, Wycombe was 6th and they're now 18th following those two defeats. It's still that stage of the season where a couple of wins back-to-back can really propel you up the table, and likewise, as we've now seen, a couple of defeats can plummet you down towards the bottom as well. After 10 games, though, the table doesn't really lie. So it hasn't been a great start for Wycombe Wanderers. There's many reasons for that, but there's still very good signs and green shoots that are coming through as well. After the game, the lawnmowers are out at Hillsborough pretty sharpish. So we took Gareth down the tunnel to have a chat for a post-match debrief.
Take the last goal out, really, 2-1, and we gambled a lot. We had 5 up front at the end there with the last 5 minutes to go. So I can sort of understand that one. But the first 2, I can't accept. There's bad goals to concede. The second one especially, we have a free kick, 10 yards from their box, and 10 seconds later it ends up in our net, and that's not good enough. It isn't. So we've got to make sure that our set pieces are better. And they started the game really well. We caught us on the hop, which isn't us at all. We had chances, we had some good chances, but we probably created as many chances as any team's going to create here, because it's an unbelievable place to come. Intimidating, big club, got some fantastic players, and Darren's recruited really well. So I'm not taking anything away from Sheffield, but when we get our moments, we've got to make them count. And Sheffield certainly did today. Every set piece was on the button. They're hitting the target with their shots. A few of our passes were awry today, and we didn't test Stocko enough. We did a little bit, and he's caught up with a couple of good saves, but could have been far closer than it was. Unfortunately, we come away with nothing, but it's a decent performance, just a little bit off on a couple of people.
Not the start you were looking for either, going 1 down after just 38 seconds.
No, not at all. And it was just crazy start to the proceedings. We trained really well all week, and like I say, it's a ball flashed across the goal, and we're 1-0 down. But it happens sometimes. You've got to get back in it, and we certainly did. Anis with a fantastic bit of skill, as always, down that left hand side. He was fantastic today again, and Sam Vokes with a great finish. But apart from that, there wasn't much in the first half. They had us pegged in a couple of times, but Max made comfortable saves you expect him to make. Stocko made a couple of good ones as well, one off Gapey and one off Farnish again. But the second goal for me is a real killer. I think there's an offside in there as well, which really upsets me. But they're not going to get everything right, are they? But we've got to dust ourselves down and build some resilience and go back next week. Just because we've lost a couple of games doesn't mean we're going to lose next week. We've got to make sure that we go in the mindset against Plymouth at home with everything to play for, because league's really tight, early days, but bit of a sticky start.
No Josh going again today, and Jason McCarthy in midfield. Was that a man marking role on Barry Bannon today? Yeah,
it was, and I think he's not on him for set pieces, so the set play goal that we've conceded, you can't blame Jason, but keeping someone like Barry Bannon's quiet is a hard job. He's probably one of the best paid players in the league for a reason. He's a Premier League player, isn't he? And they've kept hold of him, and he runs the show sometimes. But Jason did his best to keep a lid on Barry today, and I think he did okay. It wasn't the Barry Bannon show that we've seen in some games previous, but it's disappointing to come away with nothing. But the boys gave me everything again. Some positives in there again. The players getting minutes, and Anis again, fantastic, putting himself on the map, and. We'll definitely be dusting ourselves down and getting back into this.
At 2-1 down, when David Stockdale taking his time, taking a goal kick, was there a wry smile on your face then?
It's going to happen. Any keeper is going to take the time. Any keeper worth his weight, So there's no moans from me. Other managers will moan about time waste and moan about that. It's funny that the only managers who ever moan about time wasting are the ones that are losing. I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to lower my standards.
And your 10th anniversary as Wycombe Wanderers manager, not the result you would have wanted today to mark that milestone.
You know what, the day, it has been fantastic. I have some real nice messages. Pochettino, Alex Ferguson messaging me, saying congratulations, 10 years, and things like that make it nice. Winning trophies and winning everything like that is not what you're in it for. It's being remembered as a guy who was enjoyable to play for, and he was fair and honest, and he gave a good account of himself, and that's hopefully what the boys have seen today. The better team won today, they're a good side. I think they're going to be right up there. I think it'll be time that Sheffield Wednesday get out of this league. But they've got some big competition in Ipswich and Portsmouth and Charlton and Bolton, all getting 20,000 plus crowds a week. That makes a big difference, Look at the league, and I think if you can get the attendance league up, it'll be very similar to the actual league at the moment, because these clubs they've got finances to get great squads in, and they really have. I've got a great squad, but when I've got Josh Scowen injured, Brandon Hanlon injured, Curtis Thompson injured, it really does hit me hard. if Sheffield Wednesday had 3 players injured, they've got 3 real good players to replace them with, as well. And that's no slight on any of my young boys. They're coming through and they're developing quick, but it's tough at the moment. But we've been here before. We'll go again next week, and I'm looking forward to Plymouth.
And it still feels really early in the season as well. I know you hear many fans say, it's been a disappointing start, but as Gareth pointed out, last week, just 3 points off the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the thing. The table's quite condensed. I think it's a very different division this season. I think it's incredibly tough still. But I don't think it'll be the fragmented division that we found last season. But that said, we need to get on a run of form at some point and get the big players back all together, fit and on the pitch, to really see what we could do in this division. And I think Saturday will be a really tough test against the Plymouth side, who looked really impressive in the second half, taking much fancied Ipswich apart to come back and win that 1-2-1. And it just shows you that every Saturday or Tuesday, whenever the league games come, these are really tough games, no matter who you're playing.
I mean, it really starts to show, doesn't it, how much of an impact the injuries have had?
Yeah, I think Josh Scowen is the one where things were looking like everything was coming back together again. Max Strick's come in and made the goalkeeping position his own and looks very solid and reassuring. I think Tafazoli and Mawson look excellent together. And then Scowen in front of those with Gape was looking excellent too. But now we've lost Josh Scowen just as Sam Vokes is coming back, and he got his first goal of the season against Sheffield Wednesday. So it's a bit of frustration really, because I'd love to see that spine together throughout the season. And if Wycombe can have a bit of luck and get them out on the pitch more games than not, then I think the position in the table will improve dramatically. But it's just at the moment we're not able to get everyone out there at the same time, which is super frustrating at this stage of the season. And I think the other thing to look at as well, we've played 2 of the 3 relegated teams already, and 5 of the teams we finished in the top 8 last season. So it's not been the easiest of starts statistically, although many of those people have been looking at Wycombe Wanderers and thinking, wow, the way they finished last season, we wouldn't fancy playing them either. So, it's a tough division. It's a tight division. No need to panic yet. And I think we just need to stick with it. And I think once the next win comes, try and build what Wycombe tend to do is go on big runs.
A couple of big positives from those names that you picked out as well. A number of fans have said how Max looks like he's been in goal for a long time, let alone just a few weeks, and Alfie Mawson making the team of the week again despite a 3-1 defeat, which says a lot.
Yeah, you don't often see a defender in a team that's shipped 3 goals, albeit I think one of those goals was understandable because it came in the 96th minute when Wycombe were throwing everybody forwards and they left gaps to try and chase the equaliser. You might as well lose 3-1 rather than 2-1 if you're going to chase. But yeah, you're right about Max Strick. He's been brilliant. He comes to get everything. He's made some really good saves as well. His distribution's getting better. I think he's having to work in a different style than he's been probably used to at Livingston. But that's coming now. The more time he'll spend with Lee Harrison and the other keepers, Tyler Dickinson and Josh Blunkel up at the training ground, will stand him in really good stead as well. But a really good, solid start to his career at Wycombe Wanderers, and it's great to see.
And the team have had a couple of events this week in the practice game and also the team photo, which is always a bit of fun.
Yeah, the practice game is great to get those minutes for the younger players as well, and sort of start to build a bit more on their match fitness and sharpness, and some of the senior players as well, giving them a chance. So that was good there. And a positive result as well against the strong Norwich under-23 team. And the team photo day was great for us. My first one since I've been working at the club. So it was really interesting to see how that all comes together. There was a lot of very sort of weirdly looking at the skies for the 2 days before it, because it got postponed from the start of the month where the weather forecast was terrible. As it turned out on the day, the weather was okay. And then yesterday morning, it was pouring with rain here at Adams Park, and we were all thinking, wow, this is going to be a disaster. But about half an hour before the players arrived, the sun came out, all the player sponsors came down, the team photos were done, and it looked lovely. And it was really lovely to be around with the team sponsors, getting to hang out with the players that they support in terms of their kit sponsorship, home and away and training, and meet some of the real characters that support this club.
Because is it something which is it's not as easy to coordinate as you imagine? Because I think fans only see the finished article and all the players looking in the right direction, looking very smart, and you think, oh, that's really nice. But that's probably just one of many photos. I'm sure there are others of players looking in a different direction, or perhaps one hasn't turned up. Or
I think Matt Cecil does an amazing job with this. I mean, he's done it for many seasons now, and his experience shone through yesterday. But yeah, it was a marvel to watch because you've got to get everyone in 4 rows. This is the biggest squad that Wycombe have ever had. And there's all different shapes and sizes of footballers, different heights, etc. So you've got to get it balanced. You've got to get it looking right, and all the other bits and pieces. And then, yes, you've got to get the footballers looking in the right direction all at the same time. I thought it was going to be a bit like herding cats, but they all arrived early and were very on it, and they were fantastic to watch them in action. A smooth operation. So hopefully that bodes well for Saturday against Plymouth.
So I was going to say, you say the size of the squad, but also the size of the backroom staff as well. Many a team photo, you imagine, just the manager and his assistant sat at the front, and then, like a physio or someone else at either end. But there's a whole row of Gareth's backroom staff in the photo.
Yeah, I think that shows just how far the club has come as well, because when Gareth first started, it was a very small bench of his staff, the goalkeeping coach, Dobbo, and a physio, really. That was kind of it at the start. But now, as modern football is evolving and Wycombe evolving with it, analysts, recruitment analysts, a team of physios now rather than just one person and their medical bag, a doctor. So many other things to factor in. But yeah, it just shows you the way that football is going, that it's now becoming much more of an industry and many more people involved in it, more layers of expertise, which should hopefully improve the products on the pitches as well.
And ahead of audio and broadcast, of course.
I don't make the photos, see.
You're the backroom stuff.
I'm just in the voice in the background. And that's how it should stay as well, by the way.
So what sort of threat can we expect from Plymouth on Saturday?
Well, I watched the second half of their game against Ipswich Town on Sunday. They were the TV game. And I turned on and they were 1-0 down against an impressive Ipswich side. And the TV commentator was being incredibly effusive about the new young Ipswich Town manager and how great they were. And then Plymouth, I thought they made some really good substitutions. And they really tore Ipswich apart for a good 25 minutes spell in that second half. Bags of pace up front, loads of creativity in midfield. They look a really well-balanced team. And I sat there watching this thinking, well, off the back of 2 big, tough away games and 2 defeats, it's great to be back at Adams Park. But wow, this team look like they're really settled and have really hit the ground running this campaign. So I think it's going to be a tough test. We can take solace perhaps in the fact that Plymouth have only won once against Wycombe Wanderers in their last 10 games, home and away. Their fans are already dreading this fixture, which is quite interesting. But they can come here with no fear. But they're there to be shot at now. When you go top of the table, there's a target put on your back. And Gareth Ainsworth really won't care who's coming to Adams Park this Saturday. He'll know that he'll be going all out for the win. He'll be analysing what's been going on with Plymouth. He normally has a decent game plan against them. And let's hope that will continue.
Thank you very much indeed for using the word effusive. That's excellent.
I'm impressed with myself, Colin.
Try and use that more in future chats as well. Quite like that. And also, we'll hear from their vice captain later on in the show as well, Cara. But we should give a special mention to what's happening at Adams Park on Sunday as well.
Of course, yeah. The Wycombe Wanderers women's team playing in their FA Cup qualifying game here at Adams Park. A great occasion for them. They've just had their first league game at their new home in Burnham. The 1878 stadium. But this FA Cup game is great to get here at Adams Park. And hopefully it'll allow some fans, a chance to come and discover what the Wycombe Wanderers women's team are all about, meet some of the characters involved, and look to see if they can get behind them this season. The first team play on Sundays at 2:00 in Burnham. But yeah, this Sunday will be at Adams Park. And there's some real prize money involved in this. The FA are really backing the FA Cup prize money pot in both the men's and the women's competitions. Even though this is still in the qualifying stages, the winning team on Sunday will receive, I think, in the region of £3,000 to £4,000 in prize money, which is a huge amount of money for where the women's team are at this level at the moment. So a really big game for them. And after a narrow defeat in their league game, their first league game at their new home at Burnham, they'll be looking to bounce back from that and get stuck into the cup. And if they can make it to the first round proper, one can only imagine that the prize money gets even higher. Well,
fantastic weekend of football to look forward to, Adams Park. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
No, a real pleasure. I hope to see many people coming down to check it out.
Brilliant to speak to Phil, as always. And don't forget, he'll be bringing you match commentary here on Wycombe Sound on 106.6 FM and on Wanderers TV as well, where you can also catch that interview with Gareth in full and others too, of course.
Hi, this is Gareth Ainsworth, and you're listening to Wycombe Sound.
Hi, I'm Ruby Page and I play for Wycombe Wanderers first team ladies. We've got an FA Cup match on Sunday at 2 o'clock at Adams Park. I'd love to see as many people as possible down here.
Also still to come on this week's Wycombe Wanderers show, we'll hear from Wycombe Wanderers women vice-captain Cara Howes, looking ahead to that historic match as well. But first, talking of history, and as always, with big thanks to the Wycombe Wanderers Ex-Players Association, one half of a record-breaking duo. It's the first time that one club has provided two amateur international wingers, one of them the legendary Len Worley, of course, on the left, and on the right, Paul Hodges, who is very pleased to speak to and find out his earliest memories of being at the club.
Well, my earliest memory was actually being invited to join the club. Actually, what happened, I had a little dispute with Finchley Football Club that I was playing with, and there was a little dispute there, and it ended up in the papers. It was in the Evening Standard, I think. They used to run a section on amateur football, and I think it came on a Wednesday night or something. Anyway, I looked at that, and I was so surprised that after I said I was going to leave Finchley, that Wycombe came for me. The phone call from somebody at Wycombe, I don't know who it was, but would I go down there and see them? And it was the best steps in football I ever made. I think it was Don Walsh I saw, and I didn't even meet the players until the very first game I played for them, which was an evening game against Enfield Town, and it was about the fourth game of the season, I think. And I went straight into the side, and remarkably, they got their first win of the season, which was, and I enjoyed myself immensely. I mean, I was used to playing in front of 250 people at Finchley Football Club, which was still a very, very good club, but when I walked out onto Lokes Park, it was just totally amazing. There's a side there that hadn't won a game. I don't think they had won a game, and they're playing the top of the league, Enfield, and the noise that the supporters gave was absolutely amazing. And it turned out a very good night because we won the game.
A lot of ex-players talk about the slope. That must be something which took a while to get used to, especially as a winger.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody said to me when I first got there, you'll only play in one half of the game, because you only play when you're at the top of the slope, when you're down the bottom. And it was a real winner. It was probably quite true, It's the slope made such a difference, But you had more energy, you had plenty of energy left because you're only playing one half. When you're playing the old-fashioned wingers, which is what we were, people used to knock the ball up to the top of the park, and the opposition was feeling that it was going out of play. But, playing on it as often as we did, which is, it was wonderful because you never stopped running and you got onto the ball before anybody else was thought it was going to happen,
So what were your sort of first impressions, if you like?
Oh, it was remarkable. I mean, I didn't know any of the players. I thought I was not knowing anybody, but it was remarkable, the response I got, and I felt after 10 minutes in the game, I felt I'd been there forever, and it was wonderful. And I think I know I scored one goal, but I think I probably scored 2 goals in that game, and I think it ended up at 4-1 or something. But it was remarkable. The atmosphere was superb. I mean, I think there was about 4,500 people there, something like that, and it was just absolutely amazing, And this was the start of a love affair.
I was going to say, it couldn't have been too long before it felt really special with yourself on one wing and Len on the other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was great. I mean, we had a really good side. I mean, the unit, really, really good. I was impressed with it. And, of course, I'd been playing in the Athenian League, and I think this was the Isthmian League. Oh, yeah, it felt brilliant straight from the off. I mean, the club, Lokes Park, was fantastic, and everything about it, really, I mean, I would never have left Wycombe had there not been this amateurism. I think we were coming back from Italy, from tour, Len, a lot of us, and I was invited by the coach to go on television when I get back and say that you do not receive any money, no expenses or nothing, and I couldn't go and do that. And what they were doing, they were threatening to turn anybody that received any kind of funds, they were going to force them to turn professional and come out of the amateur situation. And of course, I was on my job at the time. I was an apprentice printer, and I couldn't afford to go on the television and tell lies, because you do get expenses,
Of course. So were there any particular games or occasions of that season that really stand out?
That particular first game really stands out. There was another one we played in the FA Cup, and I can't remember what the result was now, but that was against the northern side that won it many, many times. They were notorious. They're up from somewhere around the Newcastle area, I think. That was a fantastic game. We had a draw at home and got beat away, I think.
So how did you sort of find out that you were going to get called up into the England amateur side?
Let me think. I was at the club, and I think I got an injury, and I was in with a physio, and that's when it came through, and that was in the Evening Standard again. Because there was another guy. Yeah, it was the first two new caps going in there. Yeah, it was quite a surprise. Although I had been playing in some FA team selections. The Football Association playing somebody like one of the universities in that, Loughborough College, playing places like that. And so I was told that I was on the short list for it anyway. Which was it was a wonderful surprise when it was, but it was purely only playing for Wycombe that inspired me,
Must have been so special for both you and Len to be playing both club and international football together.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It was very proud. I was very proud of it, and we were good friends.
And was that really positive as well, in a way, though, after leaving Lokes Park, because you sort of had a semi-professional career at Wimbledon, didn't you? And that was, I guess, more convenient for sort of where you lived.
Well, it was mainly because they had Wimbledon had something like about 6 players playing in the England side, and obviously I made friends with a few of them, and they sort of persuaded me, come over there, come to Wimbledon. And, of course, Wimbledon were just turning professional then. And they were in the Southern League, weren't they? First, in the second division of the Southern League. And Les Henley came down to see me, and the offer I had to go there was really brilliant, It was nearly as much as good as playing for first first division football,
That's something that comes across from sort of teams of that era. You all seem to get on so well together.
Oh yeah, it was really, really lovely. I think did Dave Bassett have a few games for Wycombe?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, because I got. Funny enough, I had my family always used to support us ever so well, and my youngest sister never missed a game, and always went to the same place when she was at Lokes Park, and. She kept all the memorabilia. I didn't keep any, but she kept it, and I'm glad she did because, I've got lots of good, happy memories of it. And I've got a programme somewhere tucked away here with Davey Bassett playing inside left, all the inside left to me.
And what did you sort of enjoy most about being a winger? Because obviously it's a really exciting position and gets the fans on their feet as well.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. There was, I just really loved playing and playing wide. You seemed to be so much space for yourself. You could create. And of course, lots of assists you get, and I used to be able to knock a few goals in as well, which was nice.
No, absolutely. And overall, how do you look back at your time at the club?
Oh, I think it's lovely. When I had left there. The club sent me, I don't know who it was, but they sent me an invitation to have photography done and a picture done because we play for England, and this sort of thing, and I was a member of the club. And I didn't turn up to have my picture taken, and not for any particular reason I can remember, but just that I'd left the club, and it was one of the most regretful things I ever did, that I didn't get my picture hanging on the wall in Lokes Park, But apparently that was put right later on.
Oh, fantastic. And you must be so pleased with the sort of career that you went on to have as well.
Oh, yeah. But it all started at Wycombe, and I always look to see... First two sides I look to see now on a Saturday afternoon, Wycombe and Wimbledon.
Really enjoyed chatting to Paul Hodges, who was a winger at Wycombe Wanderers for only one season, 1963-64 campaign. Really good to speak to him. And as always, a big thank you to the Wycombe Wanderers Ex-Players Association, who will be providing further former Wycombe stars throughout the remainder of this series of the Wycombe Wanderers Show. We're on to Series 3, by the way, I know, as the season continues. Back to the men in a few moments' time. We'll hear from first team and Iraqi international Ali Al-Hamadi, and we'll catch up with Wycombe Wanderers manager Gareth Ainsworth once again as we build up to the match against Plymouth Argyle at Adams Park on Saturday, where also there's a rescheduled tribute to broadcaster and Chairboys fan Bill Turnbull, who sadly passed away in August. But first, an historic day will be happening at Adams Park on Sunday when Wycombe Wanderers women are in action in, as Phil mentioned a little earlier on, the Women's FA Cup. They'd be very pleased to have your support at the ground. And Cara Howes, who's the vice-captain of the team, as you can, I'm sure, appreciate, is very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. We just hope that we have more people come down and watch us, and it's going to be a big event for us playing at Adams Park, and just the whole factor about it, really.
There must be such a real feel-good factor around the club at the moment anyway, with the new manager and your new base at Burnham, and it just shows how things are growing. Yeah, exactly. It's just been good. We've been very welcomed at Burnham, and it is starting to become more of a home now for us, and the girls are ecstatic with it. And does that make a real difference now that you're training there as well, and you've got lots of training sessions a week as well, and it must really help with your preparation? Yeah, it is. It helps us understand our ground a bit more, get the feel of the ground and try and play good football, which we are. And the girls are gelling much better now, because we've got quite a lot of new players come in, and, we're all getting along, and our training's been good. Yeah, it's just been good. What's that been like, the integration of the team? Because obviously, as you say, there have been quite a few new faces come in, but still some have been there a while as well. Yeah, we've still got the base of the girls that were there for a few seasons before, and probably further back as well. And it's good to have new faces. It brings back the things that we were missing last season, and it's just working really well. And we're all gelling, so it's amazing. And what sort of impact has the new manager had? A very big impact. He's made a very good impact as well, and it's all been very positive. We've got a new home ground. He's pushing for more and more events and things like that, and it's good. And really nice that you've got this sort of leadership structure as well, which you're obviously part of as a vice captain as well. Yeah, it's good. I think there's about 4 of us, and it's good. We can just communicate all together, and if girls, need something to say, they can come to us, and then we can just go to Carl or Dan about it. And does it feel like there's a real interest in the women's game generally, but obviously locally as well, especially since the Euros, among all of you, really? Yeah, there is. I mean, our crowds are getting bigger, more and more people are coming to watch, and it's nice to see, and it's nice to see that younger girls can actually finally get into football and have role models to look up to. And tell us a bit about your own background. Have you always been into football from an early age? Yeah, I started playing football when I was 5. I have a twin brother, so I started playing football with him, and then his friends at the local, where my parents live, the local team. And then, I progressed on and playing with boys mostly when growing up, because, there wasn't many girls' teams. And then I hit the age of 10, and I got scouted for Oxford United Centre of Excellence at the time. I was there for 6 years, till I was 7 years. And I went to Milton Keynes Dons for 3 seasons and played for their first team. And then I had a breakthrough where I was playing semi-professional for London Bees. It was a good test, but wasn't really my cup of tea kind of thing. Very cliquey, but it was good experience to have, and have the name on the shirt that I've always dreamed of. And then I kind of went to Denham after that. And then here I am now at Wycombe. And have you noticed a real improvement in the standard of women's football generally as well? Yes, I have, definitely. It's increasing by the minute, really. Yeah, it's just really good that football is on the rise. And what were your own kind of things that you took away from watching the England team doing so well at the Euros as a female footballer yourself? Was that something that you were really inspired by? Yeah, definitely.
I didn't really have many role models growing up, and now you have them.
And it must be something as well which really kind of drives you forward and wants to do better as well.
Yeah, exactly. Football's been a huge part of my life, and I want to keep persevering and enjoying it and just keep pushing myself at all these different challenges.
And obviously, focusing back on the team itself, you only had sort of 2 league games so far, but how would you assess how things have been going?
Things have been going good. We've worked really well in training, and we've seen that in our games. It's just being clinical at the end of the day and trying to finish our chances. But the team's working really well together, and yeah, we're just loving it.
So what would you say people can expect if they come along on Sunday?
You'll see a very high energy of play, and you'll see the girls are really wanting to be there, and it's going to be good for us and for the whole team.
And do you know too much about the opposition? I think for people that don't know women's football, it's quite a strange named team for a start.
Benfica something or other, isn't it? I have no clue what they're like, to be honest with you. I don't think we've played them, but we'll just see on the day, see how it goes.
And because it's the Women's FA Cup as well, that makes it a bit more special, I guess.
Yeah, it does, definitely.
And what's the sort of mood among the team like? They, as you say, you must be really so much looking forward to playing at Adams Park and sort of just even going up the tunnel onto the pitch.
Yeah, we're very energetic. We want to play good on the day, and I'm sure we will. And we'll strive to what we want to achieve.
And what would your message be to anyone who's perhaps thinking of coming along?
Please do come along. Come and show your support and just see what we're capable of.
And as you say, it's a great opportunity for people who've perhaps followed the men's team to come and see what the women's team's about, or people who've been following the women's team for a while as well. Yeah,
it'd be nice to see people there and have a crowd to cheer us on, because that crowd would just get us going that little bit more.
Well, it's fantastic. Wish you all the best for Sunday, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great to chat to Cara House, who's the vice-captain of Wycombe Wanderers Women. Has her own gardening business, Sorry, it sounds like an advert. Still to come on the Wycombe Wanderers Show, we'll hear from manager Gareth Ainsworth, and we'll look ahead in more detail to what's happening on Saturday at Adams Park. Plus, we'll hear from Iraqi international Ali Al-Hamadi as well, here at Wycombe Sound.
Hi, it's Matt Bloomfield and you're listening to Wycombe Sound.
Coming up on the Wycombe Wanderers Show, we'll hear from manager Gareth Ainsworth. We'll look ahead to the game against Plymouth in a few moments' time as well. But Luke joins us, who was at the ground on Tuesday.
I was.
Tell us why.
It was the official photo shoot of the squad. Now that the transfer window has shut, then they have the official one. Normally slightly earlier than this, but as you heard Phil saying, rain was forecasted and then didn't rain, and then on the day that they moved it to, rained. So they got it done though. It was all nice and sunny. They also had their sponsors day as well, so all the sponsors came down of the club and the players as well, and all got to. It was really nice actually, a real sense of community at the club, which there always is, but on days like that it was very special. It was very nice.
I imagine really something to be good to be sort of present at.
Yeah, it was really. I haven't got any gossip for you. There was no, as you said, there was no one pulling any chairs away from anyone during the photos.
It must be like behind the scenes something you can tell us.
The pitch looks good. Hearing dogs for deaf people were there, and lots of the football players liked dogs because they were fussing them.
Oh, that counts.
It's not going to be in the Sun newspaper or any of this, but it's a happy place down there.
But I think as well, it's really nice, isn't it, for fans to see, as we chatted with Phil, about the size of the squad.
Oh yeah, I think we've said it before with just the fact that the amount of subs that Gareth has to choose from, but I think it's really highlighted two ways this season. One is if you get the official team sheets. And you actually see the list of players that Wycombe Wanderers have, and on the official the photo for this year for the team, there's a lot of people there, both on and off pitch.
Absolutely. Yeah. You'll be at the game on Saturday as well, of course. We've got live commentary with Phil.
It's been a while.
3:00. I haven't had a home game for a bit.
I was going to say they should do because there's a lot of backroom staff at Wycombe Wanderers. I think they should have an official photo as well.
Yeah, just their own.
Yeah, I think that in the office.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. They can have that for next season.
In the office?
In the office. Yeah, it's a very nice office. Phil's a very good person at making a cup of tea as well.
Oh, fantastic.
But yes, back on Saturday, looking forward to it. It has been a little while, actually. It feels like forever due to things that have been happening, of course, in the UK and the news. But yeah, it's good to be back on Saturday, and hopefully a win.
And a very special day as well, the rescheduling of the tribute to Bill Turnbull as well.
Yeah, obviously that was planned for the Port Vale game, which obviously got postponed. The opening of the Bill Turnbull gantry, of course, as well, was rescheduled to later on in the week. But this year, or this week I should say, the club are delighted to welcome his family and close friends to the stadium for the game against Plymouth, and they'll be pitchside as the teams come out for a special minute's applause for Bill. There's also going to be a toast to Bill as well, led by his co-commentator Phil Catchpole at around 2:30 in the Caledonian Suite as well.
You're also being invited to buy a badge for Bill as well, raising money and awareness for prostate cancer too.
Yeah, who are also going to be there, and hopefully we'll be able to speak to them on air on Saturday to not find out more about the charity, but talk to them about how we can support them.
All good stuff.
Yeah.
Lots to look forward to on Saturday. We'll have full match commentary from 3 build-up ahead of that as well, of course. Talking of build-up, Craig Anderson has been chatting to manager Gareth Ainsworth down at the training ground this morning. Before that, he caught up with Iraqi international Ali Al-Hamadi, who scored in the practice match that we referred to a little earlier on as well.
I must start with congratulations on your performance in midweek in the practice match behind closed doors.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, getting 90 minutes, which is for any young player, it's valuable throughout the season because we're getting minutes here and there, so it's good to get 90 in and obviously the goals as well, which is nice.
Obviously that helps you, I guess, as a player. One competitive goal for you this season, but even those goals in practice matches, I guess, builds confidence for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as a centre forward, you're getting judged on goals at the end of the day, so obviously performance has to be good, which again leads to goals. But again, coming off the bench and stuff, obviously my next aim now is to start chipping in with some league goals, which hopefully will come. But as long as I keep doing it and training, and when the opportunities come round, hopefully it'll be alright.
You're certainly making more competitive appearances and getting more minutes than you did last season. How are you finding it in terms of improving game on game?
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything in it. Like I'm learning game by game. So there's some games I've come on and felt really good after, felt like I've made a good impact, and then there's some games I've come off thinking, it was a bit of a whirlwind that Sheffield Wednesday. So I think sometimes maybe as outsiders or fans or whatever, people maybe don't get that, or I don't know. But again, being 20 and coming on as a centre forward in League One is not easy, especially when you're replacing Sam Vokes or coming on for Anish, who's for Anish, yeah. But I back myself to do that, so hopefully again with more experience and getting to know the boys more on the pitch when I'm coming on and stuff, I'll get that league goal and things will just start flowing from there.
You mentioned Sam Vokes. It must be invaluable having him on the training ground, sort of teaching you the ways of leading the line week in, week out. Yeah,
definitely. He's added like a different part to my game, so obviously my strengths are running at people, running behind, using my pace, whereas she's good at the hold up and the flick ons and being a big number 9. So learning from him is big for me. So I'm adding those elements to my game. But then you also have to bring your personality to the game. So I don't want to be too much like Sam Vokes, because Sam Vokes is Sam Vokes. But I can take bits from his game and add it. And same with Bale last year, and even Brandon as well.
Looking at last year, obviously you had a loan spell at Bromley and scored a few goals. How important was that for your development as well?
Yeah, it was really good. I think people as well don't underestimate how good the leagues are now. Just every league, even League One, League Two. I think English football in general is getting stronger. So even you go down to National League and playing players who've played Champ, who played League One. So you're not playing against pushovers. It's their job and it's what they're fighting to pay their mortgage and stuff. So it's on me a different start to the game, and again scoring goals as well in a league like that's quite difficult, so to get a few was nice in the end, and obviously getting to Wembley was unbelievable.
For yourself now, looking ahead to the rest of the season, have you got any aims personally in terms of goal targets or more appearances or anything?
Yeah, obviously I sit down at the start of the season and I set goals, and it's like you don't want to be too out of reach to where you're not motivated to reach them, but they have to be challenging enough to keep you driving and going throughout the season. So I think for me at the start of the season I set out to get between 20 and 30 appearances, and I think as soon as I get my first league goal I'll maybe then make a tally for goals, but for now just get my first league goal and then see what happens after that.
Is it just round the corner?
Let's hope so, yeah. I've had a few chances, but it's just like there's one at Derby and one at Barnsley, Exeter, it's just coming on over.
You talked about there being about obviously wanting to be a centre forward, that's your position, but how important do you think it is at times to be adaptable, to maybe have to play wide left and play wide right to get your chance on the first team?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's something I spoke to bloomed in some of the coaches. You know, I can play off the left, I can play off the right, I can play in behind the striker as well. So it gives me a bit of versatility to get into the team. But again, at the end of the day, it's down to the gaffer, and I've got to just keep showing them and training, and when I come on, that I deserve to be in there. You got to take accountability and just own whatever position you're on the pitch.
I don't know if we touched upon the experience of people like Sam Vokes, and obviously Annis is having a phenomenal season, but you also got someone like Gareth McCleary, Darryl Horgan, all played international football, just like yourself. But again, you're learning from all these people in different positions, as well as Sam Vokes being a striker. Do you think you're picking up things from sort of the wider players?
Yeah, no, definitely. And as much as Annis is, doing this thing on a pitch, I think people don't know the way he does off the pitch. He's one of the most, driven players. Gets in early before everyone and does his extra work, takes care of himself and stuff. So even stuff like that, you're learning off players. So you think, this kid now is, a year older than me, is doing unbelievable. But as much as his values on the pitch, he does a lot off the pitch as well. So you learn these kind of things off the boys as well. But yeah, it's unbelievable. Like I know the results haven't been great, but we've got one of the best teams potentially in League One on paper, so you're learning a lot from some high calibre players.
And last thing for me, I don't know if you're much of a follower on social media at all, but whenever you're not picked, there seems to be from your countrymen such a wealth of support. What is it like having almost like what feels like on social media a country behind you every time Wycombe announce a team?
It could be. It's like a blessing and a curse at the same time. It puts a lot of eyes on you and annoy some people as well. Sure. I've seen some people get annoyed about it, which is, it's fine, it's part of it. But yeah, it's unbelievable. Like when I've been away with them, it's just an unbelievable country that just loves football. So there's not many players of Iraqi descent that play in the English Football League. So it's obviously a big deal to the country. And at one point Iraq was one of the best teams in Asia. So it's a big footballing country. But yeah, again, like I was saying before, sometimes it brings on maybe unnecessary eyes from people. But I think I thrive off that, and I don't really, sometimes you see comments here and there on. I don't really care. Like I know the work I do off the pitch and how hard I'm working. So yeah, I just take it as it comes.
Maybe a few more Iraqi Chairboys out there somewhere.
Yeah, hopefully, they're growing.
The Wycombe Wanderers worldwide phenomenon continues. Brilliant to hear from Ali Al-Hamadi chatting to Craig a little earlier on. We'll be hearing more from manager Gareth Ainsworth as well, but something else which is a bit special happening on Saturday as well with the Wycombe Wanderers Sport and Education Trust.
Yeah, it's a busy notice board period on today's show. But the first session of the Chairboys Chat initiative is being run this week by Wycombe Wanderers Sports and Education Trust. It begins this Saturday after the game, inviting male fans to get together to discuss issues relating to mental health and well-being, which we spoke about ages ago when they first announced it, but it's happening on the Plymouth game. It's then happening on the 15th of October at the Peterborough game, 29th of October against Morecambe, the 3rd of December at Portsmouth, and Saturday the 17th of December against Ipswich Town. Those games all happening from 5:15 till 6:15 is when the Chairboys Chat will be happening afterwards. And also Wycombe Wanderers and Oxford United will be marking World Mental Health Day as well at their fixture on the 8th of October as well.
Thank you very much, Annie, for bringing us that news. It's a very good part of the show. The notice board section.
We're done now.
We should have a little jingle, shouldn't we?
We should, yeah.
That concludes the notice board section for this week's Wycombe Wanderers Show. Now, though, let's continue our build-up to the game against Plymouth. League leaders, of course, coming to Adams Park on Saturday. And Craig sat down with the manager, Gareth Ainsworth, to discuss all sorts of things, including, of course, the recent absence of Josh Scowen and Gareth McCleary, of course, who is being suspended and is set to return.
It's important that both of them are, up to speed, and we wouldn't risk anyone, put it that way. But we are missing our top performers, so far this season, and there's no doubting that Josh Scowen and Gareth McCleary would walk into most League One sides.
Wycombe actually have a very good record against Plymouth Argyle. If I can read you a little quick stat quickly, we haven't actually lost to them since 2015 in all competitions. And the only two survivors from that team, well, obviously Matt Bloomfield, part of our coaching staff, and Joe Jacobson. Yeah. So what's it like having a player like Joe Jacobson around that's been there, done that, up and down the leagues with you? Like, what's it like to have him around with these new players coming into the squad?
Yeah, he's been brilliant, Joe, He's obviously 35 now, and he's had a fantastic career. How he's not played higher, I'll never know, because he really has been a top performer. But no, it's great. We don't take much on stats, we really do just take each game as it comes and on its own merits. But Joe, yeah, he's seen a lot of change, and I think someone like Joe Jacobson is, he's just been an amazing servant for this club, and I think that fans have got to remember what he's done for us, and hopefully he'll perform well on Saturday again.
It's hard not to think about Plymouth Argyle and not talk about Barry Richardson at some point. Fond memories from even away games as well as home.
Yeah, I mean, it goes down in folklore, doesn't it, Barry, when he came on the pitch, and I think after, 15-20 minutes and kept a clean sheet, at 46 years old. That was a fantastic day, and I remember coming home on the bus, and Baz was just absolutely beaming. He played his obviously his last game in professional football, but what a way to go out. And like I said, this club have these moments, have these little stories. We seem to have more than most clubs, and that's definitely one of them.
And last one for me, Gareth, and I'm sure you've been congratulated a lot, and congratulations for myself over 10 years of management. If you could jump in a time machine, what would this Gareth Ainsworth tell that Gareth Ainsworth?
Yeah, just be yourself, do what you believe is right, because that's what's get me on the journey, put in the position because of who I was, and even the Torquay season, I don't regret it. I don't want to look back and change it because it taught me a hell of a lot of lessons. I'll probably just have a little whisper and say, don't worry, in 10 years time, from away at Dagenham on the first game, getting beat 3-0 in front of maybe, 2,000, 3,000 fans. Your 10th anniversary will be away at Sheffield Wednesday, this ex-Premier League team. They were probably in the Premier League that day. 20-odd thousand fans and giving a good account of yourself and having a respected team in the Football League. I think that a nice whisper just to say everything will be okay, just stick with it, might have been alright, but I probably wouldn't have enjoyed the ride as much then, so all been good.
Lots to look forward to on Saturday. Wycombe Wanderers against top of the table Plymouth Argyle. They're the visitors at 3 o'clock is the kick-off, but we've got much more coverage for you on Saturday.
Yeah, all starts from 12 o'clock in the car park with Rob, myself and Sally. Then build up on Wycombe Sound and Wanderers TV from 2 o'clock. We'll have more from Gareth, possibly some players as well that Phil's been able to talk to before the game, and all the team news from 2 o'clock. And then obviously live commentary from the Bill Turnbull Gantry from 3 o'clock with Phil and somebody else. We're not sure who it is yet, but there will also be someone else there as well. And of course, if you want more pre-match content, then pre-match drills will be appearing on Wanderers TV shortly at some point soon.
And post-match as well, we'll get to hear from the manager.
Yes, post-match from the manager and a player as well. And of course, Phil. And of course, if you're at the game or if you're watching at Wanderers TV around the world, then we want to hear your thoughts. Good, bad, what you think needs to happen, what you don't like, what you do like. Then send them at Wycombe Sound on Twitter or 01494 449900 on WhatsApp. We'd love to hear from you after the game.
And don't forget, if you're impressed by the Lionesses' achievement in the summer, a brilliant chance for you to see women's football locally at Adams Park for the first time. Wycombe Wanderers women in action in the FA Cup. The Women's FA Cup take on London E Benfica. The kick-off time there is at 2 o'clock. Cheer on the Chairgirls.
Good luck, Chairgirls.
If you've not seen women's football for the first time, that's your great opportunity there. On Saturday, get your tickets for that. Also on Sunday, it's the London Marathon. Must wish all the best to Ross Jevons as well, former media man at the club. We spoke to him on the show as well. On mid-mornings, he's raising money for Toffs as his young son Corey has got the condition which means he was born without the ability to swallow.
I think they're nearly at 5k as well, so if you can help, then we've just tweeted it out. So if you can help them, then help.
Obviously just running the London Marathon. He was a late entry as well, yes. So he's not done too much training.
Oh, they're over 5,000.
Oh, fantastic.
There you go. Good news.
There's a good update there as well.
Yeah.
We've gone from just under to just over 5,000, just like that. Brilliant.
That's amazing.
Great opportunity for you to support that. I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're there. Good luck to the Chairboys, good luck to the Chairgirls, good luck to Ross.
And anyone else if you're running in the London Marathon as well. It's a fantastic 26.2 mile achievement for you to get involved with. We're back at the same time next week. Don't forget there's a podcast version available of the show as well, which will be available from tomorrow. If you're listening to the podcast, obviously it's available now.
Hi.